Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Charlotte Post 2025 Top Senior Parent Orientation. We'll begin starting momentarily. We still have families logging in this evening. We want to thank each of you all for taking time out to join us to learn about the Top Senior program itself, and congratulations to each and every one of you all for having a Top Senior for the Charlotte Post Foundation program. My name is Linda Johnson, and again, I thank you for taking time out this evening to join us for our orientation. Tonight, we'll have with us Gerald Johnson, and he'll be going over an overview of our top senior program. There will be introductions. You'll learn a bit more about us, our organization, the top senior program, and congratulatory as the recognition ceremony, and we will have a Q&A as well to answer all questions that you may have for us this evening. And at this time, I'd like to invite Gerald O. Johnson to come, and he is the CEO, our publisher, and the president of the Charlotte Post Publishing Company. Gerald, turning it over to you at this time.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate the introduction, and I want to thank all of you all for joining us this evening. And I just want to take a minute to just say congratulations on having young people in your family that are dedicated to the educational process and doing such a great job. And I would like to applaud you for all of that. The other thing I want to spend a minute talking about before I get into the Top Senior program is that a lot of people we got a lot of new people coming to Charlotte, don't know much about what we do and who we are. So I want to spend a minute just to let you know who we are. And Linda, pull up the next slide, please, so I can talk about that. Not that one.
That's what's next.
Okay, well, we're missing the slide that has the information about the Charlotte Post, but I'll go over that right quick. The Charlotte Post is a newspaper covering the African American community that my father bought in 1974, and he died in 1986 and asked me to take, before he died, of course, to take over the helm of operation. And with that, we built a publication in the Raleigh-Durham area called the Triangle Tribune in 1995. And in 2001, we started our foundation. And the foundation is what the Top Senior program falls under. But the work of the Top Senior program, or the work of the foundation, started well before 2001. We were licensed to be a foundation until 2001. And so with that said, I want to get into the foundation video, but first let me just say that the foundation is composed of three components. A community education part where we're doing work in the community about the disparities of the community, African American community, as it relates to healthcare, education, crime, and upward mobility. Then we have an after-school program in Title I schools, in Title I elementary schools that help children that can't read get to a point where they can read and comprehend so that they can ultimately get to the ninth grade without dropping out and ultimately graduate. And finally, the Top Senior program, the program that your children signed up to be a part of, is what we're going to talk about tonight. And so, Linda, you can now roll the video. No sound.
So let's go ahead and read your grant
The general mission of the foundation is to put in programming that's going to help enhance and our community.
Charlotte, we kind of get some slack sometimes. People say we're not Black enough because we're not out marching and protesting, demonstrating, and some folks say we're too Black because we're saying Black Lives Matter instead of all lives matter.
We're about trying to help the community understand those issues that are impacting African Americans in a negative sense, and we try to bring in factual information to prove the point in terms of where we came from and how we got to where we are today.
So when we talk about changes, it has to be policy, it has to be systems, it has to be structures. That we are in the beginning of a movement that if we don't get it right this time, we may miss this opportunity for the next couple of decades, which would be scary. We got to get it right.
We want to have the community, the conversations across the entire Charlotte community, just to get input from all segments of our community, but more importantly, to hear from all segments of our community and just have that dialogue.
It's important for me and my church to be here tonight, to listen, to develop an understanding of obstacles to economic mobility that race presents in the city of Charlotte.
We also have to be honest about what these issues, where they come from, and where they come from going back to days of oppression and where that started. And really, people have to begin to be truthful with themselves.
But what I understand is that there's a history of people going through and producing reports and saying all these profound things and hitting the nail on the head and then doing nothing about it. Not just here in Charlotte, but in the nation.
Why are these conversations important, particularly in the Charlotte community?
Well, particularly in the Charlotte community, because we have avoided them, I think. I think we've been a little polite and not faced reality. Well, at least parts of the community haven't.
These discussions are very necessary. It's what we do after the discussions, because since I've been here in Charlotte, that's all we've done is just talk. And now we are really in a need for a change. Instead of just talking, we need an action that goes behind this.
We do a top senior program where we are giving children scholarships, but they have to go through a judging process, and so we evaluate African American top seniors with a 3.25 grade point average or higher in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg system, and now even in the Wake County system. And those children are evaluated by a panel of judges, and two of the best top seniors out of that category are given scholarships.
What we are trying to achieve with our Charlotte Post After School Enrichment Program is to help our students understand the relationship between reading and achieving high reading scores, as well as improving our scores on our end of grade tests. So I would like for you to go ahead and annotate paragraph number 1 based upon what we have just read.
This program is about dropout, and what we've learned that if you don't catch kids at the time that they start taking the end of grade testing, and even before that, then those kids that are behind that early will never catch up.
When I see them just naturally begin doing the annotation without me having to do the extra fussing, in the beginning they were kind of pulling against it, but now they have it down packed. So that's really exciting for me to see.
All of our programming is driven with education at the forefront. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we are making a difference in the community that we care so much about. I have to unmute myself. Before we get into how this top senior program works, I want to spend another minute just to tell you why this program is so important to us. And when we start, when my father bought this publication in 1974. In 1975, Charlotte, in the early 70s and up to 75, Charlotte was going through an integration process with our schools. And during that time, we had 3 African-American schools in Charlotte and several, well, 8 or 9 white schools in Charlotte that were segregated. And the integration took place, and after the integration took place, one of my father's staff members at the time would always go to the senior programs near the end of the year, and they still do it, I guess, that the seniors would always have a gathering in the gym or wherever to talk about how well they did in school and give them awards and all of that. And in 1975, after we go through the integration process, James Cupperson, who worked for my father, would go to these. And he came back after going to several of them and said to my father that he was just upset because in all of the schools that he attended for this program, there were no African-American students recognized at all in terms of their accomplishments and their work. And he asked my father if he could actually do something and put it in the newspaper because he just thought that was something that just wasn't fair. And my father gave him permission to do it. And in 1975 was the first year that we did anything with the Top Senior program, where we just put top seniors, 12 of them that had been put in at the time, into the newspaper. And that's where it got its start. We've grown a lot since then. We've been doing, this is our 52nd year of this program. So your children will be the 52nd class of this program. And it's changed a lot since 1975, thank goodness. But at the end of the day, we're very proud of the fact that we're still doing it. And it has a lot of meaning to us because now our children are being shown that they compete with anybody, and they could then too, but they just weren't given the opportunity or the recognition of their accomplishments. And so that's what this program is all about. We want to continue to recognize high-performing African-American children so that the world can know we're, if not better, we're just as good as anybody else when it comes to education and our abilities to contribute to this community and to this country. So with all that being said, let's move on to how this works. And this part is going to go pretty fast because a lot of this has already taken place. But we're going to go through it and we're going to open it up for any questions that you might have. So Linda, roll the slide. Oh, there it is. Go ahead. Okay, the application process, you all know about the school system actually gave your children an application through the counselors to take to you to let you see it because the letter was written to you. And the seniors signed up for the program, and we've received the applications and reviewed them now. The applications have been sent to a panel of judges, and how this works is that out of all of the top seniors that we get, we're going to celebrate them for their accomplishments. We're going to give them a book that they can use for whatever they want to use it for, but it's like a high school book of all the top seniors in this program that they're going to be booked by class and et cetera at school. And that book will actually be given to the top seniors free of charge. The certificate will be given to the top seniors free of charge. And we will have a recognition program for all the top seniors on May 31st. We will tell you where that's going to be when we finalize the location. But that will happen on May 31st. God be willing, when the creek don't rise. But back to the point of the judging of all of this, we send all the applications to a panel of judges. Four separate judges get these applications, and they judge these applications independently of each other, and they grade each application, and it's graded on grade point average, in-school activities, out-of-school activities, and an essay. And with all that together, each judge just judge the applications and scores it based on criteria that we give them to score it by. And when they finish judging it, they will send it back in to us. We will actually take the final score and sort it. And the two top seniors are the ones that will end up with the highest score from the independent judges, because we collect all the scores from the judges and sort it. And we end up with the two highest will be given scholarships for their efforts. And so that's how this program works. And again, right now we don't know who will get the scholarship. Probably won't know until the 1st of next month, but that's how it works. And it's and they will also get a certificate showing that they were in this program. And a very interesting thing, and this is something we had when we give out certificates, and people want to know, okay, we got a certificate, whoopee. But the interesting story that happened with us was that a young lady that got the certificate, this had to be about 15 years ago, but she got her certificate. She called our office a couple of years ago because she wanted her certificate, which we gave her, but she wanted it because she said she needed to use this criteria to prove that her status in the community in terms of her high school graduation was more than up to par. And so we had to create another one for her. It was long gone since she'd been there, but the certificates have merit to the seniors going forward. I just wanted to make that point because a lot of people miss that. Okay, so now we're at the point where I'm choked up and through talking for the most part, and I see a lot of questions coming through the chat. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, I see them in the chat, but you can go ahead and unmute and ask the question.
Sure. Did you want to show this video for the celebration?
Oh, yeah,
now?
the celebration won't be like this, but this is how the celebration goes. But this year it's going to be one place for everybody to attend. But yeah, this is how we've done it in the past on several occasions.
My name is Sanaya Stiles. I'm going to UNC Chapel Hill for college.
Oh, I am Erin Thompson. I will be attending Winston-Salem State University.
My name is Thomas Brown. I will be attending Morehouse College in the fall. Hi, my name is Hart Holly. I just got my certificate, and my life after high school, I want to go to Johnson & Wales University.
Okay, again, several questions that's coming through the chat, and several other people might want to hear the question to be answered. So, Mr. McClure, if you unmute yourself to ask your other question, let everybody hear so we can answer that.
Hey, yes, good evening. I had two questions. The first one was around, is this the first, is this the same information that was shared in the first session?
Correct. We had 3 of these sessions to go through it, same thing.
Gotcha. And the second question was around the scholarship amount for the top two seniors.
A lot of that depends on the funds that we've raised for all of this, but basically, in the last several years, and before I give you the amount, what happens with this is the scholarship goes directly to the student. And I say that because we've learned in the past that the scholarship that we would give out, the schools would actually take money, they would have to report that to the schools. The school, whatever money we gave out, the school that had a scholarship pool would take money from that pool and enter our money in it. So it wouldn't be in addition to whatever the student had already received. It's just would be add on to a pool where they would drop the money that they would have received otherwise. And so we started getting, well, they weren't complaints, just concern from students to say that we liked the fact that we were getting scholarships, but the problem they were having was they said we need books, we need computers, we need a lot of things that these scholarships don't handle. And we just need help with all of that. And so what we decided to do with the scholarships that we give out is that we write the check to the children and tell them, you spend this money the way you need to spend it for books, computers, whatever you need to spend it for, and we'll take the hit for not telling the school that we gave you this money, and we take the hit for that. But normally it's anywhere from the top senior will get anywhere from, usually it's about $5,000 to $6,000, and undergrad, the runner-up will get basically $500 less than whatever the winner gets.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Harris, you had a question.
I did. My question was around, you mentioned program. Is there sort of anything else that the students would do as a part of being selected in terms of, do they have monthly obligations attached to being selected, or is it just the actual scholarship process itself?
Well, it's a recognition program. Scholarship is sort of second. It's a recognition program. And so again, on May 31st, we will invite all the top seniors along with their parents and other family members to an event where we will showcase, hand out the books to the seniors. We will give them a certificate, feed them, feed everybody that comes to the event. And literally, that's where we will literally award the trophy and scholarships to the seniors. And so it's a recognition program with a scholarship attached.
Okay.
But we also have records that we'd like to be able to go back and call the top seniors as well as you as parents about how well the children are doing 2 or 3 years down the road, get an update on how well they're doing. So it's not a requirement, but it's something that we do like to do, is to track the success that they are making with their after high school life.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Okay, the other thing that comes with this though is we do a magazine each year that we give to all the top seniors, and we sell ads in that magazine. And parents are not required, but are going to be confronted with, if they want to buy an ad to go in the magazine to highlight their children and family members, to highlight their children or whatever. And so that's part of this, that you are required to do it, but if you want to highlight and recognize your children in this publication, this is where you can do it. And we got people that will be contacting you if they haven't already about about doing that because the book, the book process is a heavy endeavor. And so we sell ads to companies, churches, everybody else, but you are included in the buy of these ads if you want to participate. Questions? Okay.
Questions? You could just unmute yourself and Mr. Gerald will be more than happy to answer.
You're not talking to me.
No, I'm just talking to our guest this evening. Unmute yourself and your question will be answered.
Hi, I just have a question about how the essays are being judged. Like, what are you looking for as far as the essay criteria?
Great question. We have four independent judges, and I can't speak specifically for them, but when we get everything back and we look at how they scored everything, it's a couple of each judge looks at this in a different manner. That's what makes it so interesting to see how it all turns out. Some judges look at it in terms of how well the essay was structured and how well it just made sense in terms of the reading of it. And some are very particular about the grammar part of it and all of that. And so each judge looks at it differently, and I'm just taking that based on what I've seen when they come back in. But when you put it all together, it's a pretty good report on how they come up with their final answer. And then when we grade them, then because each component that I mentioned gets a different score. So an essay are the highest scored piece of the whole puzzle. And when you sum up what the judges did, it sort of makes sense that they aren't looking at it the same way.
And Mr. Johnson, would you mind going over those components again? I believe it was essay, application, and was there a few?
It's grade point average in school activities, out of school activities, and essay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mhm. And we have two other people on there that is part of the team that puts this program together internally. We got a lot of people that help externally, but Patrice and Andre, you will come on and introduce yourself.
Good evening and welcome. I am Patrice Johnson and I'm responsible for the production for the newspaper.
In the magazine, for that matter. Really? Where's Andre? Yeah. Okay, folks, I can't find him. But again, congratulations. I know you're very proud of your children, and after looking at what they sent in, I can see why you have a good reason to be very proud of them. And we're going to highlight them in many ways. And so feel free to ask me or email me if you have any questions going forward. You should have an email address for me somewhere because I've been sending stuff, a lot of stuff out. Just email me if you got questions, or anybody on the team. You can just email them if you got questions, or call us. And we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you would have.
I have a question. I recall seeing an email, I believe, It stated that the last date to buy the ad was April 25th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And one other thing about the ads is that if you know how to produce an ad, you can. But if you don't, you can send us all the material that you want to go in the ad. Once you determine the size that you want it to be, and you send us the size of the ad, pictures, verbiage, and whatever. We'll create the ad for you for free.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
ad won't be free, but we'll create it for you for free.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, there's nothing else, then I want to thank you all for attending tonight. And again, feel free to ask us any questions after the meeting. We'll be around, hopefully, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
You had a question about the cost.
Of the ads,
Yes.
the ads run from, depending on the size, it runs from $75 to $250. Just depends on the size. Full page, I think, is $250, and eighth page is 75, and it goes up from there. But that's the range of it. And you should be getting emails from several of these people on this call about the whole program of the advertising and all of that. Should be getting emails about that, which has a cost sheet on it, on the advertising. I mean, on the email.
I want to say, if by chance you have not received an email from the Charlotte Post, give us a call and we'll be glad to help you and resend the information. Sometimes the information goes to your spam or your junk folder, so you might want to look through those as well. But give us a call at our main office number and we will get a person who's assigned to you to follow up and resend the information to you or any additional people you like as well. And our office number, I'll put it in the chat.
There is one other point that I would like to make about before we let you go. One of the things that we asked all the students to upload with their application is a photo. And we might be calling you about the photo that your child uploaded, because if you see the magazine requires pictures of a certain look and caliber in terms of how it appears in a glossy magazine. And so we might be contacting you about some photo images that we need from your children. And the photo doesn't have to be related directly to the school. In terms, a lot of people send in graduation pictures, and that's great. But they don't have to be graduation pictures, but they do have to have a certain quality about them in order to be seen properly in the magazine. So I will say that. So some of you might be getting an email from somebody on this team about that. Okay, there are no further questions. I think we're done. Thank you all for attending the meeting, and thank you all for, well, don't thank me, but I'm just proud of the fact that you have some outstanding children that we all can be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank
at
you.
our top senior recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you.